Thanks for listening to the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast, where each week we talk about a free piece or two of technology that you can use in your classroom. I'm your host, Shannon Martin. I'm a middle school teacher, technology coach, and personalized learning coordinator for my district.
And what up, what up?
Hello.
I'm Fuzz. I produce this thing.
Yes.
And this week is such a cool set of tools that I've been playing for hours.
This is true. Well, at least the last, half an hour.
The tuck in the child time. You tucked in the child. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I, with the exception of trying to calm down the puppy for a good 5 minutes, was down here trying to make some music.
Music. So we've never done a full podcast on music tools. I think we've mentioned a few here and there.
Yeah.
Under creating or art or those types of things. But this week's
pretty cool.
It's all about that bass.
Oh, yeah.
See?
Look at you, Megan Trainer. Look at you, personalized or technology trainer.
We are talking about music tools this week.
Yeah.
And they are not just for music teachers. Any teacher can incorporate these music tech tools into their classroom.
Or if you want to,
sit around
if you're not a music
and
teacher,
play.
and you're like, hey, I need these kids to be busy for 15 minutes or whatever it might be. Mm-hmm. These tools will keep them busy.
Mm-hmm. Indoor recess.
Yes.
Cold weather days. I know our kids have been starting. I have kids have this week it got cold, so I know they had indoor recess.
Hey, make a
also,
soundtrack for the background of your presentation.
Yeah, or a soundtrack. There's so many different ways they could use this. They could introduce
start
things.
Your
they
SoundCloud
can make,
career.
little movie intro. There's so many things. Okay, but I will suggest, just as a heads up, you'll want them to have headphones or earbuds.
Yes.
Because all of these tools are so fun, but if there's more than one person playing them at a time,
yes,
it'd get really loud. So headphones and earbuds are a needed supply for this.
For your own
so
side.
they are all actually kind of visual too, though, which is cool. They're visual art music things. But anyway, so music. We are on to music this week. I'm so excited.
Me too.
Also, we had the little child cranking out on one of these websites today, and she had her headphones on and she was bopping around. She's like, look at this, listen to this, it's all in rainbow colors. Oh my goodness,
all the sounds at once,
which is everything at once when you have all the rainbow colors happening. So our first one is the one that she was playing in today, and it is called musiclab.chromexperiments.com/song-maker. Now there are several music tools in the Music Lab Chrome experiments.com. So there are several, but we are focusing on the Song Maker because you can do a lot with this one, and it's very easy to understand. The 5.5-year-old was playing around on it. She's in kindergarten, so kindergarten on up can figure this one out.
You're gonna have a good time.
It's cute. Okay, so musiclab.chromexperiments.com/songmaker or just songmaker is a tool where you get this cool little graph, and on the bottom you've got your usual play button, and then you realize what you can do. And I don't know if I should turn my sound on or off for this. You're probably gonna hear me play as I'm playing, but
you should.
You can kind of hear.
Yeah, turn it up.
So you can turn it up so you can hear.
Yeah.
So what each little bar in the bar graph does is color code your scale of notes. And you can go back down your scale if you want to. But you can create your own music, and it's all color coded by row. So it's really easy to know when you're playing the same note or not. So students you're introducing to music, or they're just playing for fun, or whatever they're going to do, it's very visual, which is cool. Then on the bottom from like left to right. You can choose the instrument that you're playing. So there's like piano, there's strings, there's woodwinds, there's synth, there's marimba,
Yep.
marimba. Then you can choose your bass on the bottom. So they have electronic, blocks, kit, conga. And then you can choose your tempo. And so that's like the left-hand side. And so if I throw some bass in the bottom of this scale that I just wrote, and then I'm going to hit play. I hope this plays and you can kind of hear it. So it just plays a scale and it keeps on going. So it will run through all of your lines and it will repeat. And it will keep repeating.
Yeah, it's like 4 bars and then it loops, right?
Yeah, but then you can adjust it while it's repeating. So I just put a really horrible chord in there, so I changed it. So you can constantly change and adjust, and all you do is double click. So you click on it, and then it colors in, and you click off it, and the color goes away, which means that your note goes away.
Now imagine listening to that if all of your kids were doing that without headphones.
Right.
So yes,
headphones.
That's headphone day.
So what she did is she colored every single block of every single row, so the entire thing was rainbow pretty.
Imagine pushing all the keys on your keyboard
at once.
At once.
And then she figured out, she's like, oh, if you click on it, it takes it away. And there's a little restart button in the upper right hand corner. And then there's also some things you can add to it. So there's a mic where you can sing into it, and if you sing, it will add the notes in according to your voice, which is kind of cool. And then there's different settings down there where you can change the length of bars, how many beats per bar, split beats into, you can do scales, so major, minor scales, start on middle C, your range. So it also goes through like music basics, which is cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
And you could use it for math, because if you're like breaking down and doing the math and the parts, you could use this in math class too. Yeah. Like there's so many ways you could use this besides just playing for fun. Mm-hmm. But you could use it in math, and you could use it in music, and you could use it in just a variety of ways of creating. You can undo note by note if you don't want to double click things. And when you've created this beautiful song, I'm going to swap it out to like piano, maybe it'll sound better. No, it's pretty bad. But you can create this cool song, and then when you're done, you click save. And then what's cool is it gives you a link. So then you just have the link to go share your song with somebody.
Sure.
So it's really very user-friendly. You're also able to download it into a WAV file if you really want to. If you create something that you want to, add into something else, you can. Right. And
drop it into like a movie editor or something.
Yeah, or even just, background music, or if you're making like a little, thinking like book trailer,
sure,
those types of things. You can use it anywhere. But what a cool way to have kids create music in your classroom, and you don't have to have instruments. And they
so
can
that's
swap
from
things
Google?
out. It's Chrome Experiments.
Oh, Chrome Experiments.
It's
okay.
Chrome. So musiclab.chromeexperiments.com/ and then it's Songmaker. But what a cool way for kids to make music. Again, kindergarten on up can use this in a variety of different ways, and it's super fun and user-friendly.
Yeah.
So Songmaker, go play around with it. If nothing else, just go sit on there, because it's really kind of just fun little putsy, twirly, make cool music. And I was prouder of my song earlier today, so I'll have to rework that one in somehow. Chitty! So, that is that. The second site we are talking about today, this is just a quick little throw this one at your students for about, this is like a 3-minute, maybe
all you can
5-minute.
handle. This may be it's a super cool program, but
you definitely need headphones for this one.
Yes.
It's called Space Music. You can do this at the start of science unit, maybe, or just play around with it during, again, study hall or for fun. And it's another Chrome experiment. So like there's all kinds of Chrome experiments out there, and some of them are just like cute little things, and some of them are more fully developed, like the Songmaker we just talked about. This one, it's the website is the creator's name, so it's tareksheriff.net, tareksheriff.net/art/space music HTML. If you type in like Chrome experiment space music, it'll come up easier for you. So this one, what you do is, and of course all the links will be on our website because it's easier.
That's what we do.
But it looks like stars, and then you just click your mouse because there's no real directions. You have to kind of just play around with it. And so wherever you click on your screen, I should probably turn this down as I'm talking. So wherever you click on your screen, a planet shows up and it orbits, which is cool.
Around the center of the screen.
Yeah. But when you add, each time you click the mouse, another planet shows up. And whatever space you're in, that's the note that is held by the planet.
Right.
So if I
the
click
farther
a little,
away you get, I think it's the higher the pitch.
I'll tell you in a second because it's good. Yeah. So if you can kind of hear that in the background. So if you click a planet, the first planet will sound like really pretty. It's like a flute.
Yes.
And then you add the second planet in. And then each time you click your mouse, another orbiting planet starts playing music.
Right.
Well, it's fun for like if you had like 4 planets in. And then when you have the clickers and you just start like hammering on for the kids that say it's not working, and then they decide that they're going to click
pretty soon it sounds like a horror
1,000 times.
Right.
And you have all these planets swirling around and they all make their sounds. But it is cool because you can get such a sense of how music works. Like if the notes are repeating, it holds the note, you know, and the way things are spaced out or the way they're played and low to high and whatnot. So it's cool to play around with. There's not like a save, or you can always reset. There's like a little reset button, but basically you just make the planets make sounds and you can twirl around your solar system, and it's kind of cool just to play around with. The kids are going, I did it. You just want to sit there and hammer out to see how many little planets make a circle, and they go, and they make this like sound. But it's cool, and it's a cool way to explore sounds and kind of experiment things with very low.
Like your input is clicking. Yeah, it's not like you don't have to do chords like the other Chrome experiment we looked at. You were doing chords and
putting together music. This one is just very like click and play, but it's just kind of cool.
You can still make some cool art, like music art with it. But
yes, if you're like strategic about where you place your planets, it sounds really pretty.
Now, does that one have a record function as well?
This one doesn't. This one you just play around with, and then you hit reset and you do it again.
Cool.
But yeah. So it's cool. It's just that one's very light and low pressure.
Again, headphones,
earbuds. You need them. But cool. Just cool ways to explore music and expose kids to different sounds. The last one we have is Sampulator.
It's like simulator, but it's Sampulator.
And this one I would recommend. It's like the first two can definitely be like. Anybody.
Yes.
Kindergarten through anybody.
K plus.
This one, Sampulator, I would definitely go with older. Okay.
Sorry.
So I would definitely go with older students. Just because a couple of things. It's gonna take keyboarding skills to play it with some accuracy.
Right.
And because of not like content, but there is like a heads up there's sound effects on there, and one of them is a gunshot sound. So just being like aware that this one's made for older kids to adults, not that the little kids couldn't play on it, but that would be something that you should just be aware of before throwing this one at your kids. And so, but the music that can be made with Sampulator is so cool. It uses your keyboard. So you go to Sampulator, SAMPULATOR.com, and you go to Sampulator.com, and your keyboard, like your physical computer keyboard, becomes kind of like a mixer almost. It's got all the sounds and keys, and there's some guitar in there, and then there's some other sound effects, and there's like people like yeah and
Another
hey,
one.
and yeah, different things you can like throw in your mix while you're playing.
Oh yeah.
And so this one is cool because it definitely uses like a little more skill to make it sound like real music.
Yeah, and what you're doing is you're creating loops, and you can, down at the bottom right, you can choose if you want to do 4 bars of 4 times. So, or you can choose up to 16 bars, and then it loops, and you can actually lock in the, like one row, and then edit the next row, and you can put together a loop. And then if you're enterprising, you can rap over the top of it and put it in your SoundCloud. What's up?
And it's cool. Like there's some very cool like pre-done ones to hear what other people have created.
Yep.
And to me, it's like so simple. Like you name your project, you create this like
mix
like
loop.
this mix, and then you can use it for whatever you want to. And it's so simple, but it can be so complicated sounding with just using your computer keyboard.
Yeah, I mean, this one you're able to like really time out. Like the first one we spoke about, it's really kind of set in its structure a bit, and so you have to work within the
the parameters of the bars and stuff.
Exactly. You can speed up the beats per minute, and you can with Sampulator too. But in that first one, you can speed up the beats per minute, but you're still really, like, this one allows you to kind of freeform a bit and get into it. Plus, you get to play with your keyboard.
So it feels like you're playing
a
little bit more.
Yeah.
But you have to be familiar with your keyboard. That's kind of why I said, like, kids that
it's
are
like
older.
A step below using a loop maker on an actual, like, DJ system that you would use at a, at a club.
Or it's also it's very color coded, and like everything in purple is going to be like one set of things, and everything that's blue, teal color, and then green. So it's also laid out to simplify it for you. But this one you can be pretty creative with, and again, just some of it kind of like leans towards older students, but it's very cool and just need to play around with and try out different beats and stuff. Yeah,
this one has the most different sounds and is probably, out of the 3 that we spoke about today, this is the one that I think is most fun.
Yeah.
Like the most fun to play with. The first one, the Chrome extension experiment, or Chrome
Songmaker.
Songmaker. That one probably will help teach kids like rhythm and timing a little bit better than any of the others. This
and
one,
each note is color coded in Songmaker.
Yep, exactly.
Versus in Sampulator, the sound's already put together for you, and then you're just making your song sample. Versus the first one, like you're learning the notes. Here they're already put together for you.
Yeah, the first one too is like
clusters.
separates out the music versus the rhythm. This one, it's like it's got a bunch of novelty stuff, but it's still cool. Plus, it has a metronome that plays when you start recording.
Yeah.
So you do get that kind of TikTok of what you
should be doing.
Go through.
Yeah.
But and the middle one that we talked about is more like that, just freeform experimenting. It's kind of almost mindless in that there's some.
That one's like relaxing. You just kind of play around with it. There's no like outcome except for the more you click, the louder it's going to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
But there's so many different ways you could use any one of these.
Right.
And again, not just in music class, but like there's so many things these music creators can be used
Yeah.
for. And this one as well. So the first one, the Chrome Experiment Songmaker and then Sampulator, you can save both of those too. So both of those where you're creating your soundtracks, you're able to save both of those. You can save this project on Sampulator as well and then have access to it. So that's pretty cool.
Do you think these have brain break qualities?
Brain break, well, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like you can take a pause and be like, hey, we're going to do this. We brain break still with my Bomomo and those art ones
Oh,
that
yeah,
we talked
sure,
about.
sure. Just another way to
but-
break them up. And
break up the day and throw something different in. And then, like I said, you can tie these into any subject. If you're throwing some science at them or throwing some, math at them or, creating music to go with a book that you're reading or computers class when they can, create songs using various things. So
sure.
I think they can be used and applied in pretty much any content area. And again, all of them, they don't require a bunch of setup from a teacher, just kind of knowing how they work maybe to support students or know what your students are able to handle when it comes to playing around with stuff like this. But I think they're all very fun and very cool to use. And I'm glad that we did some music because I don't know why we haven't really spent a whole episode on music before. So
There we go.
there we go. And it is episode... What are we on now? We're on
79.
79. Wow. Here we go. Cool.
I don't have any cool anecdotes for the number 79. So
Nope. There's nothing. Cool. Well, thanks for tuning in. This has been the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast. If you ever have any questions, you can find me on Twitter at SmartInWI or on Facebook. You can always check in with us there too. And if you want to get more information on the links to the technology discussed in this episode, visit smartnwi.com. New episodes each week. Thanks for listening. Go educate and innovate.
the ideas and opinions expressed in this podcast and the Smart and WI website are those of the author, Shanna Martin, and not of her employer. Prior to using any of the technologies discussed on this podcast, please consult with your employer regulations. This podcast offers no guarantee that these tools will work for you as we've described, but we sure hope they do. Have fun making some music, and we'll talk again next week on the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast.